get the Audacity up and recording. Just hit record. Yeah, hit the record button. From the College of Staten Island, just across from Verrazano, you are listening to Brooklyn College Bulldogs basketball on Spreaker.com. Your home for live Bulldog sports. As today, the men's and women's Bulldogs are set for doubleheader. Cuniac action across the Verrazano Bridge. They take on Cuniac rival, the College of Staten Island Celtics. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jonathan Carrienza alongside my broadcast partners, Andrew Phillips and Adam Jackson. And guys, for the Brooklyn College women's Bulldogs, it's been an incredible journey up to this point. 11-2 on the season, undefeated in Cuniac play. The women's Bulldogs were coming off a thrashing victory against a fellow Cuniac rival of their own, Blue College Bearcats.
Yeah, I was at that game, John. Fantastic play for the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. We were expecting a really good game because Baruch not only handed CSI their first loss of in-conference play of the year just a week prior, but also Baruch College had been having a good season, and for that first half, we saw the game we were expecting, Brooklyn College having a bit of an edge, but then the defense went into absolute lockdown mode, and it was paired with an offensive explosion as they went on to outscore them by about 30 points in that second half. Just an absolute barrage from beyond the three-point line and from down low in the paint. Brooklyn College really formed together, and I think if we see some of that tonight, we are in for a treat against the Staten Island Celtics.
I think this is definitely going to be one of the most. This is going to be the match that the women's Bulldogs are going to really, really test. They really haven't been tested.
Live from the Sports and Recreation Center on the campus of the College of Staten Island, you're watching doubleheader basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet. This afternoon, the College of Staten Island will take on Brooklyn College in a conference doubleheader as the College of Staten Island looks to improve on their 6-1 conference record by taking on the undefeated Brooklyn Bulldogs here this afternoon. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Babuski along with Mike Cohn. And Mike, the Dolphin women's basketball team has been red hot. They're coming into today's game having won 9 of their last 11, 3 in a row, and looking to face a team that's given them a tremendous amount of problems over the last few years, the Brooklyn College Bulldogs here this afternoon.
Should be a tremendous matchup, Mike, and good afternoon, folks, here on home of everything CSI Dolphins on CSI Sportsnet. I think it's a tremendous matchup. You got a CSI team, Mike, that you said has been red hot. They have won 3 in a row, have played pretty well at home so far this year, going up against a really good opponent tonight in the women's basketball team from Brooklyn, a team that's 11-2 and 7-0 in conference. And let's be honest, Mike, if the Dolphins find a way to get a win here today against Brooklyn, they will have a will share the lead. Sorry about that, folks. They will share the lead with the Bulldogs for first place in the Cuniac at 7-1. So it's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, Mike, the Dolphins coming off of a couple of wins in the last week. Their last game, a 75-53 win against Hunter College. And, Mike, it was a good game for the Dolphins because it was a game where their best players played well. Samantha Flecker led the Dolphins in scoring that game. She had 21 points on 7 of 14 shooting, including making 8 of 10 from the line, and also pulled in 8 rebounds, along with Christina Passatoro, who also picked up 21 points in that game as well on 7 of 15 shooting. And, it was a game, Mike, where the Dolphins shot the basketball well overall. They took an early lead in that game, led in the first quarter by 9 points, and, never really looked back in the game. They outscored the Hawks in all 4 quarters, were able to win that game by 22 points, and, it really puts them in good stead here this afternoon. And, the Dolphins looking to get the bad taste out of their mouth, Mike, in their last home game, a game against Baruch College, that, the Dolphins really came in as a strong favorite in the game. Baruch had been struggling a little bit, especially in the conference, but it was a game that Baruch ended up coming out ahead. And, the Dolphins really did a good job after that, Mike. They didn't let it get them down, and they really bounced back very well. They went in, they took care of Medgar Evers, and then went to St. Joe's, traveled a couple hours out on the road to Long Island and beat St. Joe's 74-54, and then beat Hunter 74-53. And, another thing you like, Mike, is that in the last 3 games, the Dolphins haven't allowed more than 54 points. So they've been playing pretty well defensively, and they're getting on track a little bit offensively. And, they're going to need that here this afternoon, Mike, against a very tough Brooklyn College team, a Brooklyn College team that has given this Dolphins a whole lot of trouble over the last few years. A Brooklyn College team that eliminated the Dolphins last year in the 2015-16 CUNYAC Championship in the semifinals. In fact, Mike, this is a Brooklyn College team that has eliminated the Dolphins 3 out of the last 4 years in the CUNYAC finals, and have also eliminated them a couple of times in the ECAC finals as well, and a team that the Dolphins have not been able to beat in a championship game in quite a number of years. So this is really a huge test for the Dolphins here this afternoon against Brooklyn College. And, of course, the way the conference is situated right now with the first 2 teams getting buys automatically into the semifinal round, a huge game here this afternoon. The Dolphins can step up and tie Brooklyn at the top of the table, or really drop back into the middle with Lehman and Baruch College. So really a huge game here this afternoon, Mike, for the Dolphins.
It really is. And when you look at Brooklyn College, they are a senior-laden team. They have 7 seniors on this ball club, and each one of them have an ability to dominate the basketball game. You start with Alexandra Mugen, who, even though she doesn't start every game, she's only started 1 game out of the 13 they've played. She's leading them in points scored so far this year with 131. She's a very good shooter both in the paint and outside. She also connects in her 3 throws. And then you have Olivia Colbert, Kaylin Richburg, Taylor Gallagher. These are players that we've seen over the last few years now with Brooklyn, who have been outstanding players for this basketball team. So it's going to be a very tough matchup for CSI. There's so many very good players that they have to guard and have to make sure that they don't beat them today.
Dan, Mike, one of the problems for the Dolphins over the years against this Brooklyn College team has been rebounding the basketball defensively, especially in the second half of close games. And, looking at the Bulldogs here this afternoon, you see they're coming in out-rebounding their opponents by nearly 8 rebounds a game. They have a lot of size out on the floor, like you mentioned, players that we've seen over the years, players that have been very successful in playoff situations and against the Dolphins especially. So, it's going to be a big test for the Dolphins here this afternoon, how they could defend against this Brooklyn College team, but more importantly, how they're able to rebound the basketball if Brooklyn misses on their first shot attempt.
And not only that, but they forced the Bulldogs a lot of turnovers. And you take a look, they have a turnover margin of about plus 10 in their favor, about 26 turnovers per game they force. And, it shows up. I mean, take a look at some of the scores that they have played against this year. They held Baruch to 39 points. They held York College to only 24. In fact, in that York College game, they even shut out York College in the second quarter of that game. Held the CCNY to 45. Medgar Evers to 34. Point is, they play really good defense. They put a lot of pressure on teams when it comes to shooting, and they go after the basketball. So it's gonna be a tough matchup for CSI tonight. we'll see if they're able to withstand the pressure of this defense from Brooklyn and get some shots in.
Yeah, and of course, this Brooklyn College team coached by Alex Lang. Lang been the coach at Brooklyn College forever, and one thing, he's going to have this team tremendously well prepared to play the Dolphins. He and Coach Shanahan have been coaching against each other for years, so they both know each other. And, one thing about an Alex Lang team, Mike, is that there's going to be a lot of players playing for Brooklyn College. He's not somebody that goes to a 7- and 8-man rotation. He'll play 10, 11 of these girls a game and really try to wear the CSI Dolphins down, rotate players in and out of the lineup. And, one of the things that Brooklyn has really done very well against the Dolphins, especially over the last couple of years, is take advantage of the Dolphins in the latest stages of the second half.
Absolutely. We'll see. That's why it's so important in this kind of game for CSI. You got to play the entire game. You got to go out there and be ready for a physical game from the start to finish. And what CSI has to do here today is they not only do they have to shoot the ball very, very well in this game, but they have to go after the basketball. They can't be afraid to go after rebounds here. They may get themselves into some foul trouble because of that. We'll see what happens as the game goes along, but they have to be very physical inside the paint, I think, with Brooklyn if they're going to have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, and the Dolphins coming, as we mentioned, Mike, really playing very good basketball. Winners out of 9 out of their last 11 games, and Christina Pesatoro has really picked her game up, averaging now 21 points a game for the Dolphins, and really has been a big force for the CSI Dolphin team, Mike. And for the Dolphins to be successful, they really need scoring out of Pesatoro and Samantha Flecker.
Absolutely, they're going to need those two to step up. And also, how about the play of Victoria Cray so far this year? I mean, she has really played well. Remember last year, missed all last season. This year has shot the ball very well, hitting around 37%. She's connecting on her free throws. She has been a very big contributor to this team. She could be someone that could come up under the radar here today and play a big role in this game for CSI.
Yeah, Mike, Victoria is a player that the Dolphins have really counted on throughout the years, and she's a player they really missed last year when she missed the entire season, and it's been a big asset coming back. She averages over 5 rebounds a game for the Dolphins, Mike, and almost 4 rebounds a game and nearly 10 points a game. So Cray is something that plays really well for the Dolphins. So as we get ready to have the national anthem play, why don't we step aside, take a break, and we'll be back with the starting lineups and the start of tonight's game between the Dolphins and the Bulldogs. You're watching women's basketball coverage right here on your voice of CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back, and we're just moments away from the start of this afternoon's game between the College of Staten Island and the Brooklyn Bulldogs. The Dolphins coming in 11-4, 6-1 in the CUNYAC Conference. The Bulldogs 11-2, undefeated in CUNYAC play. And as the players are getting introduced out on the floor, here to give you the starting lineups of today's game, my broadcast partner, Michael Cohn. Mike, take it away.
And thank you, Mike. So we'll start off with Brooklyn College, who is in the burgundy jerseys today, burgundy and gold trim road jerseys this afternoon. We start off with Karen Mack wearing number 5. Then we have the senior, Twanda Holder, wearing number 10. Number 11, another senior, that's Maya Ajay Thomas. Number 12, Justine Vento. And then we have number 21, Olivier Colbert. All seniors except for Mack, who is a junior. That is the starting lineup for the Brooklyn Bulldogs today. For the CSI Dolphins, start off with number 2, Christina Passaturo. Number 10, Angelique Price. Number 14, Victoria Gray. Number 31, Samantha Flecker. And number 32, Rosa Perone.
Yeah, you know, Mike, one player whose name didn't come up really during our pregame show is Angelique Price. And, you know, Angelique missed a couple of games for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins really missed her presence, Mike. She's a big third scorer for the Dolphins. She's coming in averaging nearly 13 points and 4 rebounds for the Dolphins, and, you know, a player that the Dolphins really need in the scheme of their offense.
Yeah, they really do. And I remember there was a point this year in a couple of games where she was not able to be on the floor, and it was a big absence. So to have her presence inside is going to be huge in this game against Brooklyn College if CSI can pull it out and get themselves tied for the top seed in the CUNYAC division.
Yeah, and you know, Mike, we mentioned the Dolphins 6-1 in that CUNYAC conference. That one loss coming here in their last home game back on January 4th. They lost 77-71, and you know, Mike, it was a game that really wasn't as close as the final score indicated. The Dolphins jumped out to an early lead in that game, and you felt pretty good about the way the Dolphins were playing, but you got to give Baruch a lot of credit in that game. They played really well, and you know, as we mentioned, the Dolphins came right back from that and reeled off 3 consecutive wins, and they'll be really tested here today against Brooklyn College.
They will be, and again, against a team like this that is a senior-laden team with Brooklyn College, you can ill afford to make mistakes, so it's going to be very, very important for CSI to play maybe its best game of the entire year against this team today.
Then, you know, Mike, a little bit of a change in the Dolphin lineup with Rosa Perone coming out and starting, and, you know, it just goes to show head coach Tim Shanahan trying to get a little more size out of Perone, and, you know, Rosa's been a little bit of an enigma for the Dolphins, Mike. She's got a lot of size, and, you know, the Dolphins could sure use some inside scoring from her. As we're underway here, as Brooklyn College controls the opening tip, as Mack has the ball, she feeds it inside, and Brooklyn College gets a couple of points in the paint right away, Mike.
And they are going to be very, very quick inside, especially if they're not going to get challenged inside. They'll just take their shots.
Yeah, G. Thomas able to get the ball right to the rim and lay it up and in, and Brooklyn off to a good start as they lead by a score 2-0. Price feeds it inside to Perone. Her shot's going to be knocked away. Mack comes down with the rebound, and here come the Bulldogs looking to run quickly. Ball work now around over to Vento. Vento now gets inside Flecker. Her jumper is going to be short and go out of bounds, so it'll be Dolphin basketball. Just underway. Brooklyn leads quickly 2-0. Passatoro bringing the ball up the center of the floor. Brooklyn coming out and playing his own defense here tonight against the Dolphins. Passatoro feeding it inside to Perone as the Dolphins work the ball over to Passatoro. Now it'll go up over in the corner to Flecker. Flecker, a nice move inside, and a baseline jumper is good. Flecker ties the game up at 2, and Bulldogs come down. Colbert with the basketball out by the three-point line, feeds it over to Mack, and Brooklyn now will look to set up their offense. Mack working the ball out over to Vento. As Brooklyn working the ball around the three-point line. Now it's going to be the long three-pointer by Vento. That's going to be no good, but Brooklyn able to grab their first offensive rebound as the G. Thomas, the senior, grabs the rebound for the Bulldogs. Now Brooklyn looking to feed it inside, but Colbert will be called for the travel.
Pretty good start here by the Dolphins defensively, except for giving up that the points in the paint to start the game. They've done a solid job last 2 possessions, keeping the Bulldogs outside the paint.
Flecker out by the three-point line. Cross-court feed up over to Passatoro, and her long jumper is good. Long two-pointer that time for Passatoro. Dolphins lead 4-2. There was no real signal by the official, and it will be a two-pointer as Colbert with the basketball now feeds it over to Vento. Vento working the ball up over to Mack. Brooklyn trying to work the ball outside in as the pass is going to be knocked away by Price. Fight for the ball. It'll be a jump ball possession, and it'll go to the Dolphins.
Not too often you see teams try to triple team somebody, but that's what the Dolphins did in that play right there, able to force the turnover on the jump ball.
Dolphins inbound as Cray brings the ball up the near sideline. And the Dolphins with an early 4-2 lead. Flecker, bounce pass over to Price. Price tries to drive her way inside, and she's going to be fouled inside on the play, as that foul will be called on Ajee Thomas, and that will be her first. And that will lead to a couple of free throws here for the Dolphins. So Price will go to the free throw line. Angelique, 58% from the line, 25 of 43 for the Dolphins. First free throw is up and in, so the Dolphins on a little bit of a 5-0 run after Brooklyn scored the first basket, and they lead 5-2. One more free throw coming up here for Price. She hits them both, and the Dolphins lead here early, 6-2. Mack bringing the ball up across the midcourt line as Cray waits behind the three-point line to pick her up. Ball goes over to Holder. Now Vento back to Holder. Nice feed inside. Short baseline jumper is up. No good. Ajee Thomas grabs her second offensive rebound, but her putback is no good. And now Flecker gets the ball out over to Passatoro. Cray, the long three-pointer is up. No good. Ajee Thomas going up high for the rebound. Her first pass is going to be whistled for a jump ball. This time, the possession arrow will go to Brooklyn College.
So far, pretty good game played here by CSI. They've done a nice job defensively. They forced some errant shots here by Brooklyn College. They played pretty good defense so far through the first 3 minutes of this game.
Yeah,
and now we got a stoppage here.
The clock didn't start, Mike, so we'll have to get the ball reset. But Bulldogs with only 2 points here through the first 3 minutes. And the Dolphins have taken an early 6-2 lead, so the Bulldogs will inbound the basketball. Dolphins with their starting five still on the floor, as are the Bulldogs. Holder with the basketball out by the three-point line, feeds the ball out over to Mack. Mack works away inside, and a short jumper from just inside the free throw line is good. That breaks a 6-0 run. It's 6-4 game. Price putting up the long three-pointer and burying it.
Angelique Price has been very good from long distance, pretty good from long distance this year, 32%. That's a big three-pointer there for the Dolphins.
She hits her first shot of the game, and the Dolphins now lead 9-4 as the pass inside is going to be knocked away, and Cray comes away with the basketball and feeds it out over to Passatoro. Passatoro inside to Flecker. She works her way inside and draws the foul on Vento. So Brooklyn will pick up their second team foul, and that will lead to a couple of more free throws for the Dolphins. Flecker will go to the line for the Dolphins, a 67% free throw shooter, 39 of 58 on the year. And, Mike, the Dolphins, a 63% free throw shooting team coming into the game today.
Which is pretty good. I mean, they could be a little bit better, obviously, from the charity stripe, but they've.
As Flecker's first free throw is up and no good. She'll have one more upcoming.
You got to knock down your shots. It's something we talk about all the time, both in the men's game and the women's games that we do. And I mean, very important for CSI to be very, very solid from the charity stripe here tonight.
3 early substitutions for Brooklyn as Taylor Gallagher checks into the game.
And I usually don't like to put numbers on things, Mike, but I think the Dolphins would have to be around 70% on free throw shooting today if they're going to have a good chance here tonight.
Brooklyn now with the basketball and 20 seconds to go on the shot clock. Mack working the ball out over to Mugen. Mugen working the ball out to Gallagher. Her long three-pointer is no good, and Passatoro there to grab the rebound. Flecker didn't see the pass, but the ball comes out over to Price, and the Dolphins now will get to set their offense. Feed inside to Cray. She works her way inside, and we're going to have a whistle and a third jump ball whistle of the game. And this time the possession arrow will go to the Dolphins. 5 minutes, 52 seconds left here in the first quarter. Dolphins lead 10-4 and will inbound the ball. Price feeding it out over to Passatoro. Now it's Fleca. Fleca, it's a long three-pointer by Passatoro is good, and Alex Lang has seen enough. Dolphins have come out shooting hot, Mike, 2 or 3 from the three-point line, and they jump out to an early 13-4 lead.
And a good start for Christina Passaturo. It's 5 quick points for her to start this game so far, 2 for 2 shooting, and, of course, with a three-pointer, she has gone off to a very good start. Dolphins hitting at 57%. Brooklyn only hitting at 28% so far through the first almost 5 minutes of this basketball game. I like the intensity in which CSI is playing right now. I wouldn't say they've dominated the tone so far, but they've knocked down their shots, and they've made some nice plays defensively so far.
Yeah, you know, the difference being a couple of three-pointers going down from the outside, Mike, and, you know, that's really good news for the Dolphins, giving Passatoro and Price a little bit of confidence. And, you know, Mike, Christine started out the offense a little bit slowly this year for the Dolphins, but she's really picked it up, and, you know, she's been really putting in over 20 points every game. Brooklyn College will inbound the basketball now as Gallagher will get the ball up over to Holder, who'll bring the ball across the midcourt line. Mack, one of the 2 starters on the floor here still for the Dolphins, feeding it out over to Holder, or for the Bulldogs, I should say. Now it's Mugen. Mugen out in the corner, trying to feed the ball inside. Dolphins able to swipe the ball away, and now it's going to be Cray with the basketball. Cray feeding it out over to Price. She works her way inside, but it's going to be an offensive foul.
I don't know about that one.
Angelique Price.
I really don't know about that one. I mean, I thought she tried to get away from the defender there and try to post up and shoot. Instead, the offensive foul was called. A very close foul on that one.
Big swing here early in the game as the Bulldogs now will get the possession off the Dolphin turnover. That's the first Dolphin turnover of the game, and the Bulldogs now work the ball down the floor. Holder out by the three-point line, trying to work the ball inside. Flecker gets a hand on it. She'll knock it out of bounds, and it'll remain Bulldog basketball with 13 on the shot clock. Brooklyn, go ahead, Mike, sorry.
For CSI right now, you got to try to calm things down a little bit. You've had the foul occur. You've also had a turnover, so just let the game calm down just a little bit if you're a CSI.
Mack, long cross-court pass, and the interior pass is stolen that time by Perone, and now it's Passatoro with the basketball. Passatoro's pass knocked away, but Flecker able to retrieve, and now Passatoro resets with 18 on the shot clock. Perone out to Cray. Brooklyn playing a little bit more aggressively on defense now. Now Perone tries to work her way inside. Her shot's no good. She's able to grab the rebound. Her putback is no good, but the third attempt is good. Good play by Perone, sticking with it and hitting a third attempt and giving the Dolphins their biggest lead of the game. It's 11. Mack with the basketball. Now it's Holder out behind the three-point line, out over to Mack, 15 to shoot. Holder, double team now by Price. Now it's Gallagher, working the ball back to Mack. Mack working her way inside. Now it's Holder with 5 to shoot. Brooklyn working in the corner for the big open three-pointer that time by Mugen, and it's good.
Can't cover them all, Mike, and it leaves Mugen wide open for the three-point shot.
As Flecker comes right back to lay it up and in, but she'll draw the foul on Gallagher, and that was a huge basket that time for the Bulldogs, Mike.
It really was, and it came at an opportune time with the team down 11 points. They needed a big shot, and they got it from Mugen. They talked about him pregame. Mugen's been one of their better shooters. They've got to watch out for her, shoot the Dolphins throughout this game. They can't leave her open like that all the time.
So Flecker's first free throw attempt is up and in. Flecker now has 4 points, and the Dolphins' lead is 9. More substitutions in here for the Bulldogs, and something we talked about, Mike, in the pregame. Brooklyn likes to play a lot of plays throughout the 4 quarters. As Flecker hits the pair, and the Dolphins' lead is 10, 17-7.
3 players at 5 points already for CSI.
Gallagher with the basketball, now feeding the ball out to Mugen. And now it's going to be Wickberg, who's checked into the game for the Bulldogs as well. Now Gallagher feeding the ball up over to Diostino. Her layup is up, no good, and Perone grabs the rebound for the Dolphins. Second rebound of the game for Perone. But Cray turns the ball over, and now it'll be Mugen off of the Dolphin turnover. Richburg bringing the ball across the midcourt line for the Bulldogs. She directs traffic now with 17 on the shot clock as we approach 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. Richburg lobbing the ball up over to Mugen. Mugen's long three-pointer is up, no good. But Richburg able to grab the rebound. Her floater in the lane is no good. Put back that time by Gallagher is no good. And this time, Perone able to come away with another rebound for the Dolphins. That'll actually be her 4th of the game, and we're going to have a whistle. And I believe we're going to have the Dolphins inbound the basketball. I'm not sure what the whistle was there for, Mike.
No, and Tim Shanahan didn't look too pleased initially. I thought it was something on CSI, but not the case. Dolphins with the basketball.
So 22 to shoot. Dolphins lead by 10, 2:37 in the first quarter. Cray looking to work against Gallagher. Brooklyn tries to double team. Dolphins feed it up over to Passatoro, whose long three-pointer is good.
There's a big three-pointer there for CSI.
She's 3 for 3 today, including 2 for 2 from downtown. She has 8, and the Dolphins have their biggest lead, 13, 20-7. Gallagher with the basketball. Gallagher working it up over to Richburg. Richburg cross up over to Gallagher now. As Richburg now puts up the long three-pointer, it's up off the back rim, no good. Ball tipped around, Passatoro able to come away with the rebound for the Dolphins. Now it's Cray out by the three-point line. Dolphins looking to run, but the Bulldogs able to get back. Now Flecker putting up the long three-pointer, that's no good. And the Bulldogs able to come away with the rebound, and Richburg. Richburg looking to run, and she'll be fouled from behind, and I think that'll be on Price. That's a big foul, Mike, because that'll be the second personal on Angelique.
Yeah, it is a big foul, and Angelique has been a big part of this team all season. She's going to take a seat for now, and she'll be out probably for the rest of this quarter for certain.
Yeah, big second foul on Angelique Price. And, you know, Mike, not the foul you're looking for 30 feet out from the basket. And she'll have to go to the bench now as Brooklyn will inbound the basketball. They've only scored 7 points here through almost 8.5 minutes of play. And now we're going to have another travel on the Bulldogs, and that's going to be their 6th turnover, Mike, here in the first quarter.
Yeah, they have not helped themselves, obviously, in the turnover department. 3 of those turnovers by Colbert. So it's not been a very good. It has not been a good afternoon for her. She hasn't even gotten a shot off yet.
So Cray bringing the ball up now across the midcourt line as the Dolphins feed it out over to Perone. Perone hands it back off to Cray. She works it in the corner. The open three-pointer by Flecker is off the backboard and no good, and Richburg is there to come away with the rebound for the Bulldogs. Her pass is going to be tipped away, and that time Passatoro went for the loose ball, and she ended up colliding with Gallagher, Mike, and picked up the personal foul on the play.
Kind of a tough personal foul. I mean, I do understand that when you get underneath a player, you got to call the foul there, but still.
So that'll be the first foul on Christina, and the Bulldogs will inbound the basketball now. 1:11 left here in the first quarter, and the Dolphins holding their biggest lead of the game, 13. Mugen with the basketball. Mugen feeding the ball out. The open three-pointer that time by Diaz Ostino is no good, and now it's Flecker with the basketball for the Dolphins. Over to Passatoro. She puts up the long three-pointer. That's no good. Ball deflected around, and Craig comes away with the basketball. Nice play, Mike, by the smallest player on the floor.
Yeah, we've seen Craig come up big a couple of times here and a couple of rebounds, and that was a big one right there.
Passatoro with the basketball now as the Dolphins have 17 to shoot inside of 35 seconds. Now working the ball up in the corner. The long three-pointer is no good. Flecker able to go up and grab the rebound.
Dolphins can hold here, Mike. They don't have to shoot right away.
Let's see if they hold for the last shot. Cray with the basketball, shot clock off, and 18 seconds to shoot. Cray working against Vento. Now the clock down to 13. Now it's Flecker. Flecker on the outside, now feeds the ball out over to Cray. Now it's 7 to shoot. Cray steps back, pulls up, the long three-pointer is up, no good. Going up is a G. Thomas for the rebound. She'll hold it, and that'll do it. First 10 minutes in the books. Dolphins playing well. They lead by 13, 20-7 here after 1 quarter of play.
Really good performance by the Dolphins so far here today, Mike. They have been very aggressive at the basketball. They're going after the basketball. They're playing a really nice zone defense as well. I really like the way they played against Brooklyn forcing some bad shots, and also the 6 turnovers by Brooklyn does not help them at all.
So 1 quarter in the books here at the Sports and Recreation Center. Dolphins lead by a score of 20-7. We'll step aside, take a break. You're watching women's basketball coverage right here on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Bacteria can and make you ill. Wow. But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps.
Mack, a nice job to get Flecker off her feet. She works her way inside and then coming over and drawing the foul well after the shot went up will be Bracic. So that'll send Brooklyn College to the free throw line for the first time this afternoon.
Still, none of these shots for Brooklyn College have been easy at all. They have had to shoot off balance most of the time, as that will go in for the first free throw attempt for Brooklyn College.
So Mack hits her first free throw. Karen, 50% from the line here coming into the game this afternoon, and she splits the pair, and Craig grabs the rebound now for the Dolphins. Craig working against Gallagher, kicks it back open to Bracic. Her open three-pointer is no good, and Mack controls the rebound, and here comes the Bulldogs looking to run. Mack feeding it inside, and a beautiful move by Holder as she lays it up and in.
And one thing if you're the Dolphins, you want to be careful here. You don't want to fall in love with the 3 too much, because if you do, you're just inviting Brooklyn College back into the game. At this point, with a 17-point lead, you want to take some more. Inside shots at the hoop, high percentage shots, instead of taking these long threes all the time.
So Gallagher will draw the foul for the Bulldogs as the Dolphins continue their good offensive play, and that ball's going to be knocked out of bounds, and the ruling is going to be last touch by the Bulldogs. That was close, and it will be Dolphin basketball with 6:31 remaining here in the first quarter. Dolphins looking to work the ball inside to Flecker. It's going to be a whistle on the play. It's going to remain Dolphin basketball now with 26 on the shot clock. 29-12 to score as the Dolphins try to feed it inside to Perez as the ball is nearly knocked away, and that time it is, as Mbessi's shot is knocked away, and here comes Brooklyn looking to run 4-on-3, but Gallagher pulls up, and she'll feed the ball back now to Holder. Now Gallagher back out over to Holder, working on Mbessi, hands the ball off to Mack, and now Brooklyn will reset with 13 on the shot clock. Mack over to Holder, cross-court pass now as it's fed out over to Gallagher. Her jumper is off once again, and this time Flecker comes away with the ball, and now it's going to be Mugen picking up the foul in the backcourt. 4th team foul for the Bulldogs here in the second quarter. So Alexandra Mugen picks up her second, team's 4th. Dolphins inbound the basketball, but first we're going to have a 30-second timeout taken here by the Dolphins, Mike, but the story here so far through the first quarter and a half, Brooklyn College really struggling with their shooting.
Really struggling with their shooting, only hitting at 21% so far in this game and 1 out of 10 from downtown. They have not shot well. The turnovers have been a problem. They've really struggled against the CSI defense, which again has played sometimes double teaming players. Sometimes they are finding ways to force erratic shots. They've done an outstanding job defensively here in this ball game. Have the Dolphins, so they deserve a lot of credit. But also CSI, Mike, knocking down their threes. 6 out of 13 so far in this game, and that has really been the biggest difference.
Yeah, and you know, Christina Passatoro leading the way, Mike, for the Dolphins. 5 of 7 from the floor, 4 of 5 from the three-point line, 14 points, and coming in averaging 21 points a game and shooting over 47% from the field. So Passatoro continuing her hot shooting for the Dolphins. here as we roll into the second half of the season as Dolphins cross-court pass nearly knocked away, but now it's going to be Flecker with the ball for the Dolphins. Back up to Passatoro, and she buries another three-pointer.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't think that shot was going to go in. It was a very awkward shot, but still goes in.
Dolphins match their biggest lead of the game. It's 20 once again, 32-12. Passatoro with 17 of the 32 Dolphin points.
I think someone had their Wheaties this morning.
Gallagher. Now it's Mack. Mack, a beautiful feed inside and able to lay the ball up and in that time will be Colbert. As Brooklyn finally able to get some points inside the paint. Brooklyn outscoring the Dolphins in the paint 10-2 here this afternoon. And, you know, Mike, that's what they need to do to get back into the game. Passatoro with the basketball now, and we're going to have a whistle. And we're going to have a reset of the clock on the play, 4:57. They're going to actually set it back down to 27. 4:57 remaining. Dolphins leading 32-14. They'll inbound the basketball, and, you know, Dolphins continuing to lead Passatoro, Flecker, and Cray out on the floor here. They played very well, and a beautiful feed inside to Flecker as she's able to get past Mugen and lay it up and in. Flecker now with 7 for the Dolphins, 34-14 score. Bulldogs with the basketball. Holder. Now Richburg. Back up over to Holder. Holder, an open three-pointers off the back rim, no good. It's going to be tipped away. Last touch by Perone, so it'll remain Bulldog basketball. You know, Mike, we talked about one of the keys of the game, rebounding the basketball. Dolphins have done very well so far, out-rebounding Brooklyn 20-16.
They have, and Samantha Flecker, Rosa Perone have been a big part of that, each one of them with 4 rebounds apiece.
As that time, Brooklyn able to get a couple of attempts at the basket, but not able to hit as their ice-cold shooting continues. But the Dolphins turn the ball over as Cray's pass a little too hard ahead of the field, and the Dolphins turn the ball over, Mike, for only the 3rd time here so far this afternoon.
And they've really done an outstanding job in that department. Right now, a +3 turnover margin. And that's that in addition to the shooting by the Dolphins in this game and the rebounding has contributed to their lead.
Holder with the basketball, and now she gets called for the travel. And, you know, Mike, the Bulldogs had 6 turnovers coming into the second quarter, but that's their first turnover of the second quarter. They just haven't been able to find a way to hit their shots here so far this afternoon. So Angelique Price will check back into the game for the Dolphins with 2 personal fouls. So it'll be Cray Price on the floor along with Passatoro, Perone, and Flecker. And, you know, Mike, for the Dolphins, Flecker and Passatoro rarely, if ever, come off the floor.
And the Dolphins really need those players to stay on the floor the entire game here today against this kind of opponent in Brooklyn College. And they're going to have a chance. They really want to set a physical tone throughout this game tonight.
And, you know, Brooklyn really plays just the opposite. None of their players play all the time, Mike. As the Dolphins bring the ball up across the floor now as Passatoro feeds the ball out over to Price. Now it's Perone, back out over to Passatoro as Brooklyn looking to turn up the intensity defensively here on the Dolphins. Cray running inside. She feeds it out to Price. Price with the open three-pointer. That's no good. Couple of Bulldogs there for the rebound. And that time Colbert able to come away with the ball for the Dolphins. Beautiful feed inside to Colbert. She goes colliding into Flecker on the play. But the ball last touched by the Bulldogs. So it'll be Dolphin ball off the second consecutive Bulldog turnover.
I got to say, Flecker's played tremendous defense here today. And that was just a great play, avoiding the defensive foul there, forcing the turnover, and now the Dolphins have a chance to extend this lead beyond 20 points.
Flecker with the basketball here for the Dolphins. Flecker picking up her dribble now, and the bounce pass goes out over to Cray. Cray looking to work against Richburg. Cray looking to drive her way all the way into the basket, but her pass is going to be knocked away, and Diostino comes away with the ball and feeds it out to Richburg, and here comes the Bulldogs once again. Now they look to feed the ball inside, and we're going to have a whistle as Perone's going to get called for going over the back on Colbert. That's going to be the first foul here in the game against Perone and the second team foul against the Dolphins here in the second quarter. So the Bulldogs will inbound the basketball now with a fresh 30-second shot clock at 3:07 here in the second quarter. Richburg, nice move along the baseline. Her running one-hander is up no good. It's going to be knocked away. Last touch by Brooklyn. So it'll be Dolphin basketball, Mike. The shooting woes for Brooklyn continue. Now they're just 6 of 28 here this afternoon. Cray with the basketball. Now for the Dolphins. Bounce pass comes out over to Passatoro. Passatoro feeding the ball out over to Price. Price feeding it inside to Flecker.
Wow.
As for the second time here in the second quarter, she's able to get to the basket and lay it up and in.
And that's just bad defense by Brooklyn, allowing her to get so open underneath. Able to easy 2 points there for the Dolphins.
Dolphins now with their biggest lead of the game, 36-24. Brooklyn looking to get it inside. They turn it over again. And now it's Passatoro feeding it ahead to Price. She drives hard to the basket. Her layup is up no good, but she'll draw the foul, and she'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2. And, you know, Mike, the Dolphins have come out and played very good defense here this afternoon and shot the ball very well and really have got pulled out to a big lead here in the second quarter.
They really have, and again, I can't say enough about the defense that Flecker and Perona played here so far today. Both of them combining on that turnover in this possession to set up free throws here for the Dolphins. They've just been outstanding defensively in this game, forcing the bad shots. Brooklyn turning the basketball over now 9 times. It's been a roll so far for the Dolphins.
So Price hits both of her free throws. She's now 4 of 4 for the Dolphins here this afternoon, and the Dolphins in the middle of a 6-0 and 9-2 run as they steal the ball once again. And Passatoro's shot will be knocked away, but, you know, Mike, the Dolphins coming out playing strong, and Brooklyn College has turned the ball over in their last 4 possessions.
They have, and the Dolphins have taken advantage, now up to 9 points off those turnovers and 10 points on second chance of the opportunities.
So Brooklyn continuing to substitute players in and out as Cray will inbound the basketball now for the Dolphins. She'll give it to Perone, now get the ball back and look to set up the Dolphin offense.
Now the Dolphins have let this clock wind down a little bit here. 15 on the shot clock.
Cray working against Gallagher. Now it's Price out by the three-point line. She drives her way inside. Her floater is up no good, but Perone able to grab the ball and lay it up and in. Second points basket of the game for Perone, and the Dolphins continue to open up their biggest lead of the game. It's now 40-14. Mack with the basketball. Now it's Richburg. Richburg driving across the lane. Her pass going up high is Gallagher. She's able to maintain possession with 10 to shoot, but it's going to be Gallagher getting called for the travel. It's going to be the 3rd turnover of the game for Gallagher, the 11th here for Brooklyn. And Mike, all 5 of them have been in the last couple of minutes.
And they have not protected the basketball well at all in this basketball game. And the Dolphins, again, like I said, continue to take advantage. Cray now moving underneath the basket, passing it off. Now
Passatoro puts up another three-pointer, and she can't miss. 6 of 7 from the three-point line. 20 first-half points, and the Dolphins now have opened up a 29-point lead, 43-14.
This has gone beyond the expectations of even us, and we thought we were going to see a very tight, close game. That may still be the case in the second half, but man, the Dolphins have completely dominated so far.
Yeah, Brooklyn just can't buy a basket as their shooting woes continue. The Dolphins' defensive intensity continues, and now Cray with the basketball with less than a minute remaining here in the first half. Cray stutter step move inside, now kicking it back out over to Passatoro with 15 to shoot. Passatoro now with 10 seconds to shoot, working against Mack. Now she works the ball over to Flecker. Flecker steps inside. Her baseline jumper is up no good, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul in the backcourt called against the Dolphins, and hopefully that's not on Price. And it is going to be, Mike, and that's going to be her 3rd personal. Big, huge foul on Price in the last minute of the first half.
A big foul because that's a good shooter and also a very good rebounder of the basketball in Price, so Dolphins would hate to lose her.
Well, she's got 3 personals, and for some reason is still out on the floor.
I'm surprised myself.
With 30 seconds here in the first half. Gallagher puts up the long three-pointer, and she buries it. And if you're Brooklyn, you got to hope that's a harbinger of things to come in the second half, Mike.
Well, they're going to need a lot of threes in the second half.
Cray with the basketball. Cray behind the back dribble. Cray's one-hander in the lane is up no good. Cray able to grab the rebound and put it up at the buzzer and bank it in. And it's been that kind of first half for the Dolphins as Cray banks it up and in, and the Dolphins will go into halftime with a 28-point lead, their biggest lead of the first half, Mike, as they lead 45-17, really firing on all cylinders here in the first half.
It's been the Christina Passaturo show. Let's start there. She has 20 points, 6 out of 7 from beyond the arc, 7 out of 10 shooting overall. She has been tremendous. The defense has been phenomenal for the Dolphins as well. 26 rebounds, 6 by Flecker, 4 by Cray, 5 by Perrone. Dolphins also forcing turnovers by Brooklyn, 11. It's only 4 by CSI. It is total domination, and right now on the scoreboard, annihilation. I know it's only halftime, 45-17.
Yeah, you know, Mike, it's almost hard to believe no Brooklyn player has more than 4 points. Here in the first half, only 6 Bulldogs have scored, and the Bulldogs put up 7 and 10 here in the first couple of quarters, and the Dolphins really shooting well. Christina Passatoro absolutely unconscious as the Dolphins go into halftime leading by a score of 45-17. So we're at halftime here at the Sports and Recreation Center, the College of Staten Island, in control of this one at halftime. Why don't we step aside? We'll take a break here for a few minutes. Then we'll be back with halftime stats and get you ready for the start of the second half as you're watching women's basketball coverage right here on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back, and we're about 3 minutes or so away from the start of the second half. The College of Staten Island leading by a score of 45-17 as the Dolphins outscore Brooklyn 20-7 in the first quarter and 25-10 in the second quarter. And Mike, the story offensively for the Dolphins in that first half, Christina Passatoro, 20 points in 20 minutes, 7 of 10 shooting, 6 of 7 from the three-point line, 3 rebounds for Passatoro as she continues her great play here for the Dolphins.
She was just tremendous in that first half. Total domination by her, 20 points as you just said. 6 out of 7 from downtown and 7 out of 10 overall. And how about just the CSI Dolphins team overall? They have shot very well. Just a little bit, a skosh under 42% from the field, 50% from the charity from downtown, and 88% from the charity stripe. They've done a great job in shooting. They have gotten rebounds. They've been very aggressive on the glass, 11 boards offensively as well, 26 overall. In Brooklyn, they can't buy a shot. They can't seem to possess the basketball for very long. At one point, they had 5 straight possessions in which they turned the basketball over. And to end that first half, Mike, CSI went on a 16-5 run to end the first half. It's been total all CSI all day so far.
Yeah, you know, Brooklyn College really struggled in that first quarter, Mike, and their struggles really continued right throughout that second quarter. Brooklyn only 1 field goal, Mike, in the last 5 minutes and 15 seconds of that second quarter. And, you know, they really struggled as mightily as a team could shooting the basketball offensively here in the first half. And, you know, Brooklyn College, as we mentioned, well coached. Alex Lang, their longtime head coach. And you got to know that Brooklyn College is going to come out and play much better here in the second half.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they have too many veteran players, too many players who have had success in the past. You expect them to have a much bigger second half and knock down some of their shots. So even though it is a 28-point lead in favor of the Dolphins right now, if you're CSI, you can't rest on that lead. You got to add to that lead and be ready for some noise here from Brooklyn in the second half.
Yeah, you know, it's really hard to believe how much Brooklyn College really struggled from the field. But, you know, we mentioned in the pregame show, Mike, the Dolphins have been playing really good basketball defensively. They haven't allowed over 54 points in their last 3 games, all 3 of those games victories. And they've been shooting the basketball better and better. And, you know, Passatoro has really come out on fire here this afternoon in a huge CUNYAC game for the Dolphins. After suffering that upset loss from against Baruch, they really needed to upend the first-place Brooklyn College Bulldogs here this afternoon. And through 20 minutes at least, Mike, so far so good.
And again, we talked about in the pregame show. We'll talk about it again here. This game has a lot at stake. You talked about the top 2 teams in the CUNYAC get buys entering the CUNYAC tournament. Well, right now, if this game were to end with CSI winning, both teams, Brooklyn and CSI, would be at 7-1 in conference. So a huge win for CSI if they're able to close it out here in the second half.
Yeah, you know, Mike, and we haven't really spoken about it yet, but following this game is another action-packed game as the men's team will take on Brooklyn College as well. And, of course, the CSI men's basketball team undefeated in CUNYAC play.
Undefeated, 7-0. The closest to them is CCNY at 6-2, but the Dolphins on the men's side have been playing great basketball, and Frank Schettino is taking it to another level right now. He had a triple-double last week against Hunter College and almost had another one last week as well, so he has been playing great basketball.
So the Dolphins will inbound the basketball here to start the second half. It'll be the same starting 5 that started the game for the Dolphins. Clay Passatoro, Price, Perrone, and Flecker as the Dolphins look to come out here, Mike, and really do what they did over the first 20 minutes.
And you got to stay aggressive, and even though it's a 28-point lead for CSI, like I said, you don't want to just sit there and rest on the lead. You want to continue to be aggressive, going at the hoop, continue to take shots that are available to you, and also continue to play solid defense. So
Brooklyn College picks up a quick personal foul to start the second half, and the Dolphins inbound the basketball. Flecker Now hands the ball off to Cray, and the Dolphins will look to set up with their first possession here in the second half. Cray looking to work against Mack. Now she feeds the ball out over to Passatoro with 13 seconds to shoot. Now Flecker with the basketball as she looks to angle away inside. Is Brooklyn coming out a little bit more aggressively, and they're reaching in and picking up her third personal of the game will be Alexandra Mugen. So Mugen picks up a foul, and that's 2 quick team fouls, Mike, for the Bulldogs here in the third quarter. Cray hands the ball off to Perone as the Dolphins once again in possession of the basketball and looking to get their first shot up to the rim here in the third quarter. Cray looking to work against Mack. She drives inside. She feeds the ball out now to Price. Price driving away to the basket and laying it up and in. Big, strong move that time by Price. Dolphin lead is 30.
Nice shot by Price. And the longer she can stay in this game, the benefit to the Dolphins. She does have 3 personal fouls on her record.
Brooklyn working the ball outside in and putting up the three-pointer is Mugen. So Mugen gets the first basket of the second half for the Bulldogs.
That's the second three-pointer by Mugen today.
Price working her way inside. Now it's Perone. Her short jumper is short, and Mack will grab the rebound now for the Bulldogs. Mack working the ball out over to Vento. Now back to Mack as Brooklyn looks to set up offensively and try to work their way back into this game. As we're going to have a whistle, and that's going to be a foul away from the ball. I think it's going to be on Perone. It will be,
yep.
And that'll be her second and the team's first here in the third quarter.
We talked about at the end of the first half when Brooklyn nailed down a 3 before halftime. We said they're going to need a lot of threes, and they're going to need to have a lot of threes if they're going to get their way back into this basketball game.
So Brooklyn looking to inbound the ball. It's going to be knocked away by Cray and stolen away by Price. Price to Passatoro ahead of the field. She's knocked down to the floor that time by a G. Thomas. No foul called, but it will remain Dolphin basketball.
That was great defense there by Thomas going up against Passatoro, knocking that ball away.
Shot clock reset. I don't believe that's correct, but the Dolphins throw the ball away, but able to maintain possession. And now head coach Tim Shanahan pleading with the Dolphins to slow down and set up. Flecker working her way inside, and she's going to draw the foul on the play. That foul is going to be on Colbert for Olivia. That's going to be her first. Brooklyn with 3 team fouls here early in this third quarter. First free throw is up and no good.
Dolphins again shot 88% from the charity stripe in the first half. They have to be good from the charity stripe again here in the second half if they're going to put this one away.
So Flecker will go to the free throw line. 47-20 the score. Samantha 3 of 5 from the line here this afternoon. 8:06 remaining here in the third quarter. As Flecker will go to the line, and that free throw is up and in. And the Dolphins now looking to press Brooklyn College in the backcourt. Pass ahead, nearly knocked away by Price. Now a fight on the floor for the basketball, and that should be a backcourt violation, I would think. No, instead it's going to be a 30-second timeout as head coach Alex Lang able to get the timeout. So a little bit of a herky-jerky start, Mike, here to the third quarter.
A little bit, but that was played very well there by CSI because in that situation when you have 4 defenders all the way down on this side of the court and you have only 1 defender up court, usually not a good thing, but a good job of the Dolphins to try to force turnover, end up getting the 30-second timeout instead by Brooklyn. But you're right, kind of a herky-jerky start to the second half here by both of these teams. Again, CSI, you got to stay aggressive here defensively, and also you got to continue to nail down your shots in the second half the way you did in the first.
Yeah, and that's really been the story here of the game this afternoon, and it's been Brooklyn College's struggles from the field that have really opened the door up for the Dolphins, as the Dolphins defense has been giving the Bulldogs problems here all afternoon. Mugen with the basketball. Now it's going to be fed out over to Holder. Holder now back to Mack. Mack's long three-pointer is good. So Brooklyn hits their third three-pointer of the game as they work their way back and cut the deficit down to 25. Cray with the basketball for the Dolphins. Cray working her way inside. Now it's Flecker. Flecker driving her way inside. The shot is up, no good. And the rebound's going to be grabbed by a G. Thomas.
That was just a wall of Brooklyn players that closed around Flecker as she tried to approach the basket.
Mack, look-away pass is going to be stolen away. And here come the Dolphins, 2-on-1. Pass to Toro, up over to Cray. Her shot is up, no good, but she'll be knocked down from behind on the play, as that foul will be on Vento, and that's going to be her third, the fourth team foul already against the Bulldogs here in the third quarter. So Victoria Cray will go to the free throw line for the Dolphins. Victoria shooting 73% for the year on the line. First free throw is up and in, and it's a 49-23 Dolphin lead. One more free throw upcoming for the Dolphins. And that's going to be short, and the rebound will be grabbed by Mugen, and the Bulldogs have the basketball. Mack will pull the ball out as the Dolphins come out and play a zone as the clock runs under, 3 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Mack working against Cray. She works it out up over to Vento. Her three-pointer is up, no good. The ball's going to be tipped away. Last touch by the Dolphins, so Brooklyn College will maintain possession with a fresh 30-second shot clock. Dolphins playing zone on the inbounds pass as the ball comes out over to Vento. She puts up the three-pointer. That's no good. And going up strong for the rebound is Flecker for the Dolphins. And Passatoro brings the ball up across the midcourt line. Passatoro working against aggressive defense played by Holder. Passatoro now looking to drive her way across now feeding it out over to Flecker. 8 seconds to shoot for the Dolphins. Flecker driving her way all the way to the basket. Her shot is up, no good, and now Perrone is going to be fouled for the Dolphins, and she will go to the free throw line to shoot two, as that will be the 15th foul against Brooklyn, and the Dolphins will have free throws here for the rest of the quarter. And that's going to be on Mugen, and that's a big foul, Mike. That's her fourth.
Yeah, she's going to have to sit now.
And Perrone will go to the line to shoot two for the Dolphins.
And that takes the leading scorer for the Brooklyn Bulldogs out of the basketball game. Colbert and Gallagher will now check in.
Perrone struggling from the line so far this year. She's now 14 of 30. She'll have one more upcoming, and she misses them both. And Brooklyn comes away with the basketball. Mack now working the ball up in the corner to Holder. Holder, a long cross-court pass, comes up over to Gallagher. And now we're going to have a foul on the outside against Angelique Price, and that's going to be Price's fourth, Mike. And those last two fouls against Angelique were both about 30, 35 feet from the basket, and that didn't look like much of a foul on Price, but it's going to be enough to send it to the bench. Gallagher inbounds the basketball, now gets the ball back, feeds it out over to Mack. Mack feeding the ball inside as the pass inside is going to be knocked away as Colbert loses the basketball, and now it's Passatoro. Passatoro backing the ball out beyond the three-point line. Passatoro looking to drive her way inside. She gets to the basket, misses the layup, but draws the foul.
And I'll say this, that was a nice rejection there by Perrone. Just puts her hands up, forces the turnover. Now the Dolphins with a chance for some free throws here. That is the second foul now on Colbert.
So Colbert picks up the foul. Brooklyn already over the free throw limit. Passatoro's first free throw is up and in. She'll have one more. Christina now with 21 points on the day. Coming in shooting 68% from the line as she hits them both. As Richburg will check back into the game here for the Bulldogs, and she'll replace Karen Mack. Brooklyn still looking for answers offensively, Mike. Still only 6 points here in the third quarter.
Now they shot a little better than they did in the first half, but still have not found an answer here for the CSI defense, and that's a shot you have to make. Can't miss it. Dolphins get the rebound defensively.
And Bessie with the basketball, feeding it inside to Flecker. Flecker able to grab the basketball. She's going to be fouled before the shot, but of course, Mike, it doesn't really matter. Brooklyn's over the limit already anyway, so she's going to go to the free throw line once again to shoot 2.
Yeah, it's just amazing the number of mistakes that have been made here by Brooklyn College in this game so far.
Yeah, lots of fouls against Brooklyn here in the third quarter. That's their 8th foul, Mike, here in 4.5 minutes of basketball as Flecker hits the first, and the Dolphins continue to open up their lead. They get it back up to 29 once again. Now it's 30 after Brooklyn cut it down to as low as 25. Richburg with the basketball as she'll bring the ball up across the midcourt line inside of 5.5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter.
And you mentioned Brooklyn's fouls. They had only had 8 fouls the entire first half.
Gallagher with the basketball. Gallagher now back out over to Richburg. Richburg working it up over to Holder, and her long three-pointer is good, and Brooklyn needed that one bad, Mike.
They need that, and they're going to need a lot more. But that's a good start for them.
Cray with the basketball now looking to work against Richburg. 18 seconds to shoot for the Dolphins. Cray looking to use the Mbessi pick. Cray looking to feed it inside to Perone. The ball's knocked off our hands, and we're going to have a whistle, and that's going to be a foul on Perone. So all of a sudden, Mike, Perone with 3 and Price with 4 for the Dolphins.
And those are two big players for the Dolphins, in both Perone as well as Price, both in foul trouble. And I know it's right now a 53-26 game, but you really don't have both of your top players in foul trouble at this point, especially defensively.
Richburg with the basketball. She puts up the long 3. That's going to be no good, and the ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Colbert, so it will be Dolphin basketball. 4:34 remaining here in the third quarter. Brooklyn looking to trap as the Dolphins get the ball up ahead to Passatoro, and the Bulldogs get back. Passatoro out by the three-point line. Holder looking to play aggressive defense out beyond the three-point line as the Dolphins have 11 seconds to shoot. Now it's Flecker. Flecker, reverse layup attempt. That's going to be no good, but a nice play by Perone to come away with it momentarily, but she steps on the end line, so it will be Bulldog basketball. Dolphins held scoreless for the last minute and a half as that time Richburg able to come back and hit the jumper as Brooklyn looking to cut into that Dolphin lead once again, and once again they've knocked it down to 25.
5-0 run here for Brooklyn. They're probably their biggest run of the game so far.
Cray with the basketball, looking to work against Richburg. Dolphins looking to get back on track here offensively and get a good shot here at the basket. Now it's Passatoro. She feeds it up over to Mbessi, and her open baseline jumper is good. Good play by the Dolphins, and Mbessi gets her first basket of the game. 55-28. Richburg with the basketball. Richburg feeds it out over to Gallagher. Her baseline jumper is up, no good. Passatoro goes up high for the rebound, and here comes Passatoro with a head of steam. She takes the ball to the basket. It's knocked away, but Flecker able to recover. Now Cray with the basketball. She backs the ball out, looking to work against Richburg. As Dolphins looking to make a concerted effort to run a little shot clock here. Now Passatoro puts up the three-pointer. That's halfway down and out, but now Cray comes away with the rebound. She feeds it inside to Perode. She's knocked down on the play, nothing called. And now Brooklyn comes away with the basketball. Richburg, nice crossover move. She works her way inside and lays it up and in.
And that worked out very nicely there for Brooklyn College. They escaped a little bit after CSI missed a couple of shots after getting some offensive rebounds and still come away with points on their end as they're on a 7-0 run.
4-point turnaround that time by the Bulldogs as they're able to get the ball off of Perone going to the ground and laying it up and in. But now Brooklyn picks up the foul once again, Mike, and Victoria Cray will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Cray's first free throw goes halfway down and out. She'll have one more with 2:26 remaining as Brooklyn continues to substitute players as 3 players check into the game for the Bulldogs. And Cray will have one more shot from the free throw line. Victoria 1 of 3 from the line here this afternoon. As that second is up, no good. So the Dolphins missing their free throws here in the second half. Now 6 of 12 here in the second half. Gallagher with the basketball. Now it's Mack. Brooklyn looking to cut into the Dolphin lead and get inside of 25. As that shot is up, no good. Flecker going up high for the rebound, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on the play. As that time it was Veronica Green going up for the ball and able to grab the rebound. It's going to be the 4th team foul on the Dolphins, the first on Cray. So the Bulldogs will inbound the basketball with a fresh 30-second shot clock. They work the ball in the corner. That open three-pointer is up, no good. And Brooklyn controls the rebound once again. Diostino. Now Gallagher. Gallagher pass out over to Mack. Mack picks up the long three-pointer. That's no good. Fight for the rebound, and the Dolphins can't grab it, and Brooklyn College will get another shot at the basket. Their 4th opportunity here on this possession. Mack to inbound the basketball. She works it into the corner. A wide open three-pointer, that time by Gallagher, is good.
And they've been knocking down their three-pointers here in this second half, Mike. That's now 4 out of 9 from downtown for Brooklyn.
That's as close as Brooklyn has been here in the second half. It's 22, 55-33 as Cray has the basketball for the Dolphins. Now it's Flecker. Flecker out by the three-point line with 10 seconds to shoot. And Bessie looking to work her way inside against the double team. She puts up a wild shot. It's going to be deflected and knocked away, and the Dolphins have the ball off the turnover. It looked like there might have been a travel there, but Brooklyn maintains possession. Mack with the basketball now as we're inside of 1 minute remaining here in the third quarter. Mack looking to crossover dribble against Cray. She works her way to the basket, and boy, oh boy, as Rosa Perot's going to get called for the foul. It looked like she might have gotten all ball on that one, Mike.
I agree with you, and that's going to be the 4th foul now on Perone. So she's going to have to sit too. Now, again, they're two big players, both Perone and Price, out of the game right now for CSI. Those are big losses for the Dolphins as we move into the fourth quarter.
And it's going to be a full timeout, so why don't we step aside and take a break? 54 seconds left here in the third quarter. Dolphins leading 55-33. You're watching women's basketball coverage on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back inside a minute to go, and you know I like this timeout here by Coach Alex Lang, Mike. He recognizes the Dolphins are a little vulnerable here. Perone just picked up her 4th foul. They've already knocked 8 points off of this Dolphin lead with an opportunity to knock it down to 20 and really try to close out this third quarter strong.
Absolutely agree with you. And look, the Brooklyn College Bulldogs right now are playing pretty good basketball here in the second half. I mean, yes, they haven't been perfect. They've knocked down some of their shots here. They've knocked down their three-point shots. They played a little better defense so far. CSI's been kind of herky-jerky so far in the second half, but this game is far from over.
They've outscored the Dolphins here 17-10 in the second half, and the Dolphins come away with the rebound off of the miss. Flecker with the basketball. Now feeds it up over to Passatoro. Brooklyn looking to try to continue to turn up their defensive intensity on the Dolphins. Now it's Cray with the basketball. Bounce pass over to Passatoro. Now it's Bracic feeding it out over to Flecker. Shot clock continuing to run at 5. Now Flecker with the basketball. Out over to Passatoro. She puts up the long three-pointer. It's up no good, and Brooklyn grabs the rebound. Shot clock off. 20 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Mack with the basketball. Mack working her way inside. Mack working the ball back for the long three-pointer. It's up, no good. Brooklyn controls the rebound, though, with 10 seconds to shoot. Now it's Mack. Mack against Mbesi. Brooklyn working it out for the big three-pointer, and that's good. And Brooklyn College ends the third quarter, doubling up the Dolphins 20-10 and knocking the lead down to 18, 55, 37 with 10 minutes remaining.
They are still in this basketball game, Mike. They have shot the ball very well, and that three-pointer is a real shot of momentum for them going into the second half as they close it out on looks like a 9-0 run in at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, so the Dolphins outscored 14-2, 9-0, as Mike said, to end that third quarter. So we're going to step aside, take a break here. 3 quarters in the books. Dolphins lead 55-37. You're watching women's basketball coverage on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back, and we're heading into the fourth quarter as the Brooklyn College Bulldogs close out the Dolphins here on a 9-0 run to end the quarter, 14-2 over the last 5 minutes and 33 seconds as the Dolphins can manage just one basket, Mike, over those 5.5 minutes.
And Brooklyn College with that three-pointer to end that third quarter with a shot of momentum, and they start this fourth quarter with the basketball. So it's going to get very interesting here, Mike. 18-point lead for CSI.
Dolphins need to turn that defensive intensity back up as we're going to have a jump ball possession, and the possession arrow will go to the Dolphins here. So good play by the Dolphins to get the turnover to start the fourth quarter.
One thing that stands out is that Brooklyn shot 42% in that third quarter. Very much improved from where they've been the entire game.
Well, the Bulldogs scored 20 as Cray will draw the foul before the shot. Brooklyn scored 20 in that third quarter, Mike, which was more than they scored in the first half.
By contrast, CSI only hit 2 out of 10 shots, 20% in the third quarter.
So that foul is going to be on Mack. That will be her first and the Bulldogs' first as the Dolphins inbound the basketball. Price on the floor, as is Perrone, with 4 fouls. Angelique driving to the basket but misses the layup, and Najee Thomas goes up high to grab it for the Bulldogs. Now it's Mack. But Gallagher gets called for the travel once again. And, Mike, that's her 4th turnover here this afternoon.
And she's had a really rough day so far. Has had a rough day shooting, and now 4 turnovers. Not going to help.
So the Dolphins will get to inbound the basketball just underway here. Less than a minute into the quarter as Brooklyn able to double-team Cray in the backcourt as she dribbles the ball off her foot. And it's going to be a turnover for the Dolphins in Brooklyn basketball. And, Mike, the Dolphins' offensive woes continue here over the last 6 minutes. Bulldogs inbound the basketball as they get the ball into Mack. Mack feeding the ball up as driving into the basket and drawing the foul will be Colbert. As she's going to be fouled on the play. That foul will be on Cray, I believe. That will be her second, the team's first. So Brooklyn now will get to inbound the basketball here. Team foul apiece, Mike, here in the first 45 seconds.
And CSI only turned the ball over 4 times the entire first half. They've turned it over 4 times here in the quarter and a little less than a minute. As
Brooklyn misses the shot, but once again able to grab the offensive rebound. Mack feeding the ball inside to Colbert, and this time she makes no mistake and lays it up and in as we're going to have, I believe, a delay of game warning perhaps on Brooklyn College. But, you know, Mike, the Dolphins got to find a way to get some kind of rhythm back into their offense.
They really do, and you can see that Brooklyn starting to take it to the Dolphins a little bit, playing with the high tempo that we saw the Dolphins play with in that entire first half.
So we're going to have a whistle and a foul committed on the outside once again, as that's going to be the third whistle here in 1 minute and 5 seconds here in this fourth quarter, as that foul is going be called against Colbert. So now she has 3, and we'll have a substitution for Brooklyn as Holder will come into the game. She will replace Diostino, and the Dolphins will inbound the basketball. Cray getting the ball inside to Perone. Perone, bounce pass, comes up over to Pasatino. Now it's Flecker out by the 3-point line. Flecker looking to work her way along the baseline. Brooklyn doing a good job turning up the defensive intensity on the Dolphins. Now Cray at the 3-point line with 11 to shoot. Now it's Price. She drives down the baseline, and now we're going to have a whistle and a blocking foul called on the Bulldogs. And I believe that's going to be on Mack. It will be. That'll be her second. 3 quick team fouls once again for Brooklyn here in the fourth quarter. So Price will go to the free throw line for the Dolphins. Price in foul trouble really all game long for the Dolphins here this afternoon, Mike, playing just 16 minutes, and she misses the first free throw as the Dolphins' struggles continue. They're now under 50% from the line here in the second half, Mike, just 6 of 13. One more free throw upcoming here for Price, as that one is up and in, and Dolphins finally get a point. First point in 5 minutes. And it's now a 17-point game as we have a whistle, and we're going to have a timeout taken here by Brooklyn College. It'll be a 30-second timeout, so let's keep it right here, Mike, as we played 1.5 minutes here in the fourth quarter, 8.5 minutes remaining.
And really, you mentioned the free throw shooting by the Dolphins, 7 out of 14, only 50% here in the second half. We talked about it coming into the second half. If you're the Dolphins, you didn't want to sit in a lead. Fortunately, that's kind of what the Dolphins have done. They've been very inconsistent in their shooting here in the second half, have really fallen asleep offensively in the second half, and Brooklyn, again, continues to knock down shots and play very aggressive defensively. CSI's got to find a way to get some kind of momentum going here on their end to get the tables turned to make sure that this lead stays. Right now it's a 17-point lead. Make sure it stays this big, and if not, get a little bigger before Brooklyn really starts to close in.
Yeah, and you know, Mike, the Dolphins were 15 of 36 from the field in the first half, 2 of 11 in the second half, 8 of 16 from the 3-point line, 0 of 2 here in the second half, 7 of 8 from the line, 7 of 14 from the line. So it's been a tale of 2 halves for the Dolphins, but they're still sitting pretty, leading by 17, as Brooklyn's still looking a way to fight their way back into the game. Holder now getting it back to Gallagher. Her 3-pointer is short, but Brooklyn able to grab the offensive rebound once again, and Holder is able to lay it up and in as the Dolphins' offensive rebound troubles in the second half here continue.
And this was a Brooklyn team that only had 2 second-chance points in the first half. They've had 8 second-chance points here in the second half.
As the Dolphins miss another shot here, they've yet to hit a shot. And we're going to have a whistle on the play. I'm not sure what the call is, as Brooklyn College, Mike, has cut this Dolphin lead down to 15.
It wasn't that long ago. It was a 30-point lead.
That's right. As the Dolphins have just gone ice cold, 1 point here in the fourth quarter after just 10 points in the third.
It was a 5:53 in that third quarter. It was a 30-point lead.
Dolphins getting outscored 18-3 since that time. And Brooklyn College has cut the Dolphin lead down to 15 as we're going to have a whistle and a 5-second violation on the play. So the Dolphins will come away with the basketball off the Brooklyn College turnover. And, you know, they needed that, Mike, but what they really need is to get some rhythm back offensively. Dolphins in triple stack formation. Flecker down in the box for the Dolphins, as the Dolphins will look to inbound the basketball here. And Flecker, Cray, and Pasatoro, Mike, have played all 30 minutes for the Dolphins, or I should say all 32 minutes for the Dolphins here this afternoon. Cray inbounds the basketball over to Perot. Now Cray will get the ball back as the Dolphins look again to try to get something going offensively. Cray, nice crossover dribble. Nice move to get to the basket, but her shot's going to be blocked away. And Brooklyn College comes away with the basketball once again. Richburg, behind the back dribble, gets the ball across the midcourt line as Brooklyn looks to continue to dive into this Dolphin lead. Richburg now feeding the ball back out over to Holder. Holder kicking the ball back, and now that long three-pointer by Mugen is good. And you know you're hot when those shots are going in, and the Dolphin lead is cut all the way down to 11. Cray driving to the basket. She's knocked down on the play, and took a long time for a whistle to blow, Mike, but one finally did, and you were wondering what the officials were watching on that play.
It was just a little bit, but at the same time, CSI trying to answer quickly on the three-pointer by Brooklyn. You know, even though the foul is good, you get Cray to the line to shoot here. It does take a little momentum out, because if Cray does knock down that bucket there, it does take a little bit out of the sails of Brooklyn College right there, who exploded off the bench after the three-pointer.
As Cray's first free throw is up and in, and that breaks a 21-3 run for Brooklyn College here over the last 8.5 minutes of play. One more free throw upcoming here for Cray. It's a big one. And her second free throw is up and in, so she hits 2, and that gets the Dolphins back up by 13, but
every free throw is going to matter right now the rest of this way for the Dolphins, and they're one more foul away from Brooklyn to being on the line almost automatically right now, but they need to hit down every shot that they can get here for the Staten Island Dolphins.
This is a Dolphin team that led in this game midway through the third quarter by 30 and have seen their lead cut down to 13. Richburg, nice move inside. A bank shot is up, no good. Fight for the rebound, and it's going to be a jump ball, and this time the possession arrow will remain with the Bulldogs. But once again, Mike, the Dolphins cannot rebound the ball defensively.
And this was a team that rebounded the basketball so well. They had 15 rebounds in that first half defensively. As a team so far in this game, only 10 rebounds in the second half.
So Brooklyn College gets the ball to Holder. Now it's going to be Gallagher, and she'll hand off to Holder as Brooklyn College continues to look to build on the momentum they've gained here in the second half. Holder might have gotten away with a step on the play, and we're going to have a whistle and a jump ball, but this time the possession arrow will go to CSI.
They need a big play right here, Mike. They really do. A three-pointer would be great. Even a jump shot will be what you'll take anything if you are Tim Shanahan and the Dolphins, just to get some points on the board.
Dolphins being out-rebounded 28-11 here, Mike, in the second half, as Brooklyn College making a game of it and cutting the Dolphin lead down to 14. Flecker with the basketball, working against Mugen. Now it's Cray. Cray looking to drive her way inside, cut off by a G. Thomas, and now it's Passatoro with 5 to shoot. Passatoro working her way inside and draws the foul with just 1 second remaining on the shot clock. So Passatoro held on to it till the last minute, Mike, and was able to make it pay off as she's able to draw the foul.
And at the line right now for 2 very important free throws.
Passatoro's first free throw is up and in. She's now 3 of 3 from the line. She had 20 points in the first half, Mike. Just 3 so far here in the second. Make that 4 as the Dolphins able to score the last 4 points and make it a 60-44 lead. They lead by 16 now, 5:51 remaining, and Brooklyn to inbound the basketball.
I still feel CSI needs that statement play, whether it be made here defensively on a rejection or on the other end offensively. They need a statement play right now.
And there's a big three-pointer, and that's no good. Flecker able to come away with the rebound this time for the Dolphins. Passatoro nearly losing possession. She does, and now Richburg coming away with the steal. Richburg taking it all the way to the hoop. Passatoro not able to keep it in bounds, but a nice defensive play by the Dolphins, and Brooklyn will have to inbound now with 25 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
And that's a great job there by Passatoro, working up top, trying to swat the ball away, and instead forces the inbounds here for Brooklyn, taking a little bit of momentum out from underneath the Bulldogs in that play.
So the Bulldogs will inbound the basketball 60-44. Passatore with those 2 big free throws to open the Dolphin lead back up to 16, and Brooklyn to inbound the basketball. Richburg lobbing the ball back. Gets the ball out over to Holder. Holder driving away inside. Her layup is up no good, and Price comes away with the rebound for the Dolphins. She's collided into by Richburg, who will draw the blocking foul on the play. So it will be Dolphin basketball. Actually, that will be the 5th foul, Mike, so that's going to lead for free throws for the Dolphins.
And that was a huge rebound there by Price. Able to draw the foul and then get points here on the other end, hopefully for the Dolphins, as they're trying to increase this lead, potentially back up to 18.
Yeah, and the Dolphins had out-rebounded Brooklyn, Mike, 26-20 going into the half, as that first free throw is up and in, and Dolphins have hit their last few free throws. But nice job by the Dolphins getting a couple of big rebounds on the last 2 Brooklyn misses. First pass to Toro, then Price. They both go to the free throw line. And one more coming up here for Angelique as she misses the second, but the Dolphin lead back up to 17, and Cray able to come away momentarily with the basketball, and we're going to have a jump ball possession arrow go to Brooklyn with 5:13 remaining, and the Dolphins leading by 17. So, Mike, Brooklyn was able to cut into that Dolphin lead and really able to cut the Dolphin lead down to as low as 12. But the Dolphins are able to go on a 5-0 run since that point.
And they've done a nice job here. They've picked it up a little bit defensively. I think that's the most important thing, even though they haven't hit on any buckets except for free throws.
And, Mike, I might have heard a little bit of a sarcastic cheer from the Brooklyn College fans going up on the play. Is apparently they don't like the fact that the Bulldogs have been out-called in personal fouls 22-13. Mack with the basketball. Mack looking to work against Cray. Mack working inside against Perot. Her shot is partially blocked, but Brooklyn able to come away with the basketball, but that three-pointer is missed, and now the ball fed ahead to Passatore, who lays it up and in, and Mike, that's a big basket. That opens it back up to 19, 7-0 Dolphin run.
And there's the statement play offensively that I've been looking for from the Dolphins. You get a big turnover on the other end, able to pass it down court to Passatore, who's open all the way to the hoop, as there's points there for Colbert, but still, that was a big bucket there for Passatore.
Yeah, but a big answer that time for Brooklyn College is they were able to get the ball into the basket, and, you know, that foul is going to be called against the Dolphins, and that's going to be on Perone. And, you know, Mike, sometimes you got to let the player go to the basket and lay it up and in, and you have a lot of momentum going, and you lead them by 19 points. You let it take the layup, and you come out for another day.
Exactly right. And now without Perone, so they lose their big underneath the hoop at center. So that's a big loss there for the Dolphins for the duration. 4:30 to go in regulation.
Yeah, so that breaks up that Dolphin run, and that's going to send Colbert to the free throw line as her free throw is up and in. Big make there for Brooklyn College as the Dolphin lead is now cut to 16. Fed ahead of the field to Bracic, who missed the layup but got called for the travel anyway. And, you know, Mike, if you're the Dolphins here with a 16-point lead, you know, you could run clock here. No need to hurry the offense, as that time Bracic had the open layup, couldn't hit it, but Brooklyn gets the ball back off the Dolphin turnover. Mack with the basketball looking to work against Cray. Mack drives it inside, and we're going to have a whistle and a touch foul called inside against the Dolphins, and that will be on Cray. That'll be her third, the Dolphins' fourth, so Brooklyn will go into the bonus on the next Dolphin team foul. Mack to inbound. Now it's Mugen. Mugen looking to lob the ball inside. They get it inside. It's knocked out of bounds, though, but it'll remain Brooklyn basketball with 24 seconds to shoot. Mack to inbound the basketball. Mack lobbing it out to Mugen as she'll work against Cray. Mugen stops, puts up that long three-pointer once again, and that'll go out of bounds. Big miss for Brooklyn College, and you know, Mike, that's what happens when you fall so far behind. You leave yourself very little margin for error when you're trying to come back.
And plus players start to press a little bit, start taking shots that are ill-advised. Maybe put a little bit too much mustard underneath their shots, and that's what happens.
Flecker getting it over to Passatoro. Now the Dolphins get it over to Cray and get it over the midcourt line. Inside of 3 minutes, 45 seconds remaining, Mike. And, if you're the Dolphins, you don't want to be in any hurry to shoot from this point on.
But right now, Cray's doing a great job here. She's holding the ball here. 8 seconds on the shot clock, passing it off to Passatoro.
Passatoro looking to work her way inside, and it'll be a block on the play. And, I don't understand that, Mike, because that time Vento waited till 25 seconds, came off the shot clock, and, she clearly jumped in front of her and was going to pick up the foul. And, if you were going to do that, you could have done that 20 seconds ago.
Could have. And, in that situation, might as well just let the Dolphins shoot.
As Passatoro misses the free throw, that's her first miss from the line here this afternoon. She's now 4 of 5, now 5 of 6, and she has 27 points. And the Dolphin lead is up to 17 once again. Mack with the basketball. Dolphins looking to trap in the backcourt. Now they get the ball up over to Vento, who brings the ball up across the midcourt line. Now they lob it up over to Mugen. Mugen, no hesitation on that three-pointer. That's going to be no good. And the Dolphins control the rebound once again, and that might have been the last real shot, Mike, for Brooklyn College.
Perhaps. See what the Dolphins can do here in this possession as they're going to try to eat some of the shot clock.
Yeah, Mugen now 3 of 8 from the line for the Bulldogs. As Passatoro drives down the lane, her floater is up no good, but she'll draw the foul on the play, and she'll go to the free throw line once again for the Dolphins. And 3:02 remaining, Dolphins leading by 17, and it's going to be Colbert picking up her fourth, and Passatoro going to the free throw line to shoot 2.
And even though she does miss the shot there, one thing that she has been able to do is she's helped put this Brooklyn team into some foul trouble here. 3 players with 4 fouls.
So it'll be a timeout. It'll be a full timeout on the floor. We'll step aside, take a break. 3 minutes, 2 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter with the score. Dolphins 64, Bulldogs 47 as you're watching women's basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back with 3:02 remaining in this game, and Mike, the Brooklyn College Bulldogs were in the middle of a 21-3 run. They had cut a 30-point Dolphin lead down to 12, but the Dolphins able to stabilize the game. 4 free throws and an Angelique Price jumper. Dolphins go on a 7-0 run and have opened up a 17-point lead as Passatoro now hits the second. And the Dolphins have an 18-point lead, 3 minutes remaining.
They've really done a nice job stabilizing it. And, even though they haven't hit down a lot of shots here in the second half, they're only 3 out of 14. Hitting the free throws are just as important. Big 3, though, there for Brooklyn.
Holder able to bank that one in, but Brooklyn still trailing by 15 with 2:45 remaining in this game. Brooklyn College shooting much better here in the second half. 7 of 19 from the three-point line. Price over to Flecker now with the open three-pointer. That's no good. Going up high to grab the rebound is Colbert. Brooklyn still with a little bit of room here, Mike, if they can get a big basket. The ball fed up for the three-pointer. That's no good. Holder grabs the rebound and feeds it back to Mack. And Mack drives inside and lays it up and in. Brooklyn not going quietly, Mike. 13-point game.
No, they know they're in their rush to make this possible. As unlikely as it is, right now down 13, they're trying to make it happen.
Yeah, and if I'm Brooklyn, Mike, I think I'm fouling already. Dolphins already running 15 seconds off the shot clock, and now it's down to 10. And if I'm CSI, Mike, I'm running all 10 down if I can, as Passatoro misses that shot, and then the worst possible play that time by Samantha Flecker, drawing the loose ball foul with 1:48 remaining on the offensive glass, Mike.
You really can't afford to give a foul there to Brooklyn and also give them an opportunity to get some points on the board with a 13-point lead.
Well, you know, Mike, Brooklyn was all the way down on the other end of the floor just grabbing the rebound. And, you know, of course, Samantha knows that that's not a foul she wants to commit as Colbert goes to the line to shoot two. And the first is up and no good, and that's a big miss that time by Olivia as she misses her first free throw. And she's a very good free throw shooter, Mike, coming in shooting 78% from the line for the Bulldogs here this afternoon. As her second free throw is up and in, and you know, Mike, Brooklyn College has only gone to the line 7 times here this afternoon. The Dolphins have gone 32 times, and it'll be 2 times more as Mugen will now foul out of the game for the Bulldogs. So Mugen is out of the game. She's the second player to foul out. She will join Rosa Perone, who fouled out earlier for the Dolphins, and Samantha Flecker will go to the free throw line here to shoot 2. And, you know, Mike, the Dolphins are going to have to hit their free throws here at the end of the game, but if they do, they should be able to close Brooklyn College out here this afternoon.
Well, they've done a pretty good job of hitting their free throws in this second half. We'll see what they do here with Flecker. She gets off to a good start here in the first.
Yeah, so she's now 7 of 9 from the line. She has 13 points on the game, along with 9 rebounds and 3 assists. As her second free throw is up and in, so 2 big makes there. And Brooklyn College now down 14 will bring the ball up the floor as it's Mack working against Cray. Now it's Holder. Holder, long cross-court pass over to Richburg. As Brooklyn working the ball around. Good job by the Dolphins as Brooklyn has already taken 15 seconds off the shot clock as Colbert puts up the shot. And, boy, that was a tough foul called on the Dolphins that time. But she'll go to the free throw line once again as this time it'll be Passatoro picking up the foul. It'll be her second foul, or third foul, I should say. So once again, Mike, Brooklyn able to go to the free throw line. Colbert's first free throw is up and in. She's now 3 of 4 for the line. She has 9 points. Brooklyn trailing by 13, just 1:27 remaining.
And this is really the biggest difference in the game is the fact that Brooklyn has not had many opportunities at the free throw line. Yes, they've shot a pretty good percentage, but only 8 free throw attempts now, 9 overall in the game, and they've only hit on 5 of them.
Yeah, so Colbert splits 4 free throws here over the last minute. And now it's Cray with the basketball working against Mack, and Mack will reach out and foul her.
Yeah, they really have no choice now, Mike. They have to foul every possession the Dolphins have the rest of the way down.
Yeah, you know, sorry, Mike. Not really a bad play that time by the Bulldogs. Cray just 3 of 6 from the line here tonight. Forced her to hit 2 as her first is up and in, and she steps up and does hit the first one. And, you know, the Dolphins now with 27 free throws, Mike, here in the second half. They're 17 of 27, and they lead by 14, make it 15 as they're now 18 of 28, and the Dolphins now lead by 15, 1:15 remaining in the game. So Dolphins appear to that they will close out Brooklyn here this afternoon as Richburg able to grab the rebound and lay it up and in. But Brooklyn College running out of time as we're now inside of 1 minute remaining here in the second half as for some reason Mike Price driving to the basket, not needed on the play. So Brooklyn College with the basketball off the turnover as that long three-pointer is no good. Brocic goes up high for the rebound. 45 seconds remaining in the game, Mike. Dolphins are going to move themselves up into a first-place tie here this afternoon.
That they are. They're going to improve to 7-1 in the conference, tying them with Brooklyn College at 7-1. Of course, with this head-to-head, it would put College of Staten Island into first place in the Kuniak standings, and that is going to be huge because, again, moving forward as we look down the road throughout this season and possibly into the tournament, top 2 seeds will end up getting byes to start the Kuniak tournament, and the Dolphins would love to be the number 1 seed. And this would be a huge win that perhaps we look back at in about a month from now when the tournament begins as being one that maybe propelled this Dolphins team. And this was really a game, Michael, that was pretty much decided in the first half when the Dolphins were up 45-17. CSI kind of sat in the lead in the second half, but still an overall good performance by CSI overall as they find a way to beat a very talented Brooklyn College team.
Yeah, it's a Brooklyn College team that was undefeated in conference play. As that ball is going to go out of bounds, and with the shot clock off, I expect that the Dolphins should be able to run the shot clock out here, as they will up their record on the year to 12-4, 4 in a row, and 7-1 in CUNYAC conference play, and they will move into a tie with Brooklyn College atop the CUNYAC table as Passatoro draws the foul here with 16.1 seconds remaining in the game. And you know, Mike, it was a 20-point performance by Christina Passatoro in the first half, and you know that opened up the lead for the Dolphins. They did a really nice job, and you know, they struggled a little bit in that third quarter. Brooklyn outscoring the Dolphins 20-10, and Brooklyn comes out on a 10-1 run to start that fourth quarter, 21-3 run overall. But Dolphins maintained their focus and did a good job here as Brooklyn College brings the ball up the floor with 12 seconds remaining in the game.
And now 30 points for Christina Passatoro to finish the day. 72-56 Dolphins in front right now.
So Vento puts up the shot. That's no good. Price will grab the rebound, and that's going to do it. The College of Staten Island wins their fourth game in a row as they are able to bounce back here at home and win a big conference game against Brooklyn College, Mike, a Brooklyn College team that's given the Dolphins all kinds of trouble throughout the postseason over the last few years.
It really was a huge statement win. We came into the day, Michael, talking about how important it would be for CSI to play good, solid defense and be aggressive offensively, and they did just that.
Yeah, and we're going to be joined quickly here by Christina Passatoro. And first, Christina, congratulations this afternoon, a big win against Brooklyn College.
Thank you.
You know, Christina, the Dolphins came out so strong here this afternoon. You guys were red hot, especially you in that first half, 20 points in the first half, but you knew Brooklyn was going to come back strong in that third quarter.
Yeah. We just had to keep doing what we were doing. It's hard. You know, they're a good team, so they're never gonna quit on us, and we knew we just had to come out strong. We can't hope that the shots are as hot as we were in the first half, so we had to work on our defense.
You know, Christina, this is a Brooklyn College team that's given the Dolphins all kinds of trouble, especially in the playoffs over the last couple of years, and you know, it must feel good to come out and start with a win against them here in the conference this year.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. It was a big win for us. They were in first place in our conference, and we're right up there, so we have to show we can compete, and we just have to come out and play as hard as we did tonight every game for the remainder of the season to win out.
And you know, Christina, the team's now in a first-place tie with Brooklyn as both teams now go to 7-1, and a couple of big games coming up on the road against John Jay and CCNY, but you guys will get to finish with a lot of home games at the end of the year.
Yeah, we're lucky with that, that we don't have to be on the road so much towards the end. We love playing at home, but wherever we go and play, CCNY, John Jay, Brooklyn eventually, we just have to come out with today's intensity every single game for every single quarter. We can't take quarters off like we have in the past.
Well, congratulations, Christina, once again as the Dolphins roll to their fourth consecutive victory.
Thank you.
That was Christina Passatoro joining us here, Mike, on CSI Sportsnet. And, you know, Passatoro once again continuing her red-hot play. 30 points here this afternoon, Mike, as the Dolphins roll in their fourth consecutive victory.
And Dolphins roll 72-56. Now we get ready for a great matchup we have with the men as they take on Brooklyn College, and we'll see what they can do here tonight. Try to get the Dolphins a sweep here on this Saturday afternoon.
So we're going to step aside and take a break here for a couple of minutes. Michael Cohn will be back to have the play-by-play here in game number 2 as we're going to step aside the CSI women's team coming out and defeating Brooklyn College here this afternoon to go to the top of the CUNYAC table. So for Michael Cohn and Meshach Alexander, this is Mike Babuski saying so long. Thanks for listening. Stay right here. We'll be back in just about 10 minutes or so to bring you men's basketball coverage as the men's team will take on Brooklyn College as you've been watching women's CUNYAC basketball doubleheader coverage right here on your voice of CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.